So I've spent a lot of time kind of talking about what not to do as far as not using moisturizer goes. So we'll kind of branch over more into some of the basics of what we should be doing as far as taking care of the skin on your own at home. And there are some just key essentials everybody needs to do. It really doesn't matter who you are or what kind of skin you have. So we'll just kind of start there. So the first thing everybody needs to be doing with their skin, doesn't matter who you are, what kind of skin you have, what you're working on with your skin, is to cleanse your skin regularly. A lot of confusion around that comes in mainly on how often should I be cleansing. So people aren't really sure, should I be cleansing twice a day? Should I just be cleansing once a day? If I'm cleansing once a day, should that be in the morning or should it be in the evening? These are the questions I hear. So whether or not you're supposed to be cleansing once or twice a day actually can vary from one phase to the next. And the easiest way to determine that for yourself is what I call the oil awareness level. And so all that means is at some point throughout the day, do you ever suddenly become just more aware of your skin as far as being more shiny, feeling heavier, or just being different? So some people may suddenly be aware of some extra shininess or a little heaviness in the skin, maybe late afternoon, like by 3 o'clock on most days. Other people, this might occur maybe about noon every day. Somebody else, maybe 9:30 a.m. and somebody else might be saying, I don't know what you're talking about because I've never experienced that. So this is the oil awareness level. So as a general rule, if you are somebody who will experience that awareness or change at some point during the day before you would get home from work, then I would say you should definitely always be trying to wash morning and evening. If, on the other hand, you don't ever feel like you experience that, or it only happens like in the evening time, then you are probably okay to just cleanse in the evening. So for people who would only be cleansing once a day, you always want that cleanse to be done at night, at the end of the day. Mainly because our skin collects a lot of things throughout the day. It gets a lot of buildup. And so even if you don't wear makeup, I beg you, please cleanse your skin before you go to bed at night. Uh, Bacteria is also a little bit more active at night in the skin. And so there's just a lot of reasons why you always want to go to bed with a clean face. The other thing to keep in consideration around this topic would be the fact that your skin will change. Skin is part of a biological living system, and so it's not static. And that's hard, I think, for people sometimes because it's like, well, this always used to work for me, or how come this is different now? Well, because our skin is always changing, because our body is always changing, because there's multitude of factors that are affecting it all the time. So besides pinning down your cleansing schedule, the other thing that is important, not just with cleansers, but skincare products in general, really comes down to the ingredients that are being used. And we do not underestimate the power of ingredients to do harm or good for your skin. And unfortunately, all ingredients used in skincare products are not amazing. I mean, there's so many ingredients that are used in beauty products that are, not safe, dangerous, irritating. You'd have to carry like a dictionary around with you every time you went to try to find a product to use. So it can be a little overwhelming. I mean, it can be a lot overwhelming even for me, and this is what I do, right? And so it's a little complicated. And this is a whole nother topic, which I'm sure we'll get to. Just the environment that we live in, the world we live in, the products and tools we have at our disposal. There's a lot of harm that we receive because of those things. And it is detrimental to our skin and to our overall body and health. And so when you are trying to make a choice on what you're going to be using and putting onto your actual skin, if you at least have some awareness of the ingredients that are better or worse, then it helps you make wiser decisions. When you're doing something or putting something on your skin that has even a low level of irritation, but you're doing it every day, that becomes a burden for the skin. And so we never want to have irritated skin cells, because irritation leads to inflammation. Inflammation leads to problems in the body. So yeah, once your skin cells become inflamed, they just start doing squirrely things. And those are things you usually don't want them to be doing. So we don't want skin cells that are irritated or inflamed. We would like skin cells that are calm, happy, behaving themselves, because they're going to be able to do more good things for you when they're not dealing with the stress of irritation and inflammation by something we're doing to it every single day. So again, there's a lot of ingredients used in skincare specifically that create that irritation inflammation cycle. But as far as cleansers go, that's just a simple one. Everybody can commit to memory. That's easy to check for, that you just want to avoid. And it's going to be very specific to cleansers because it is a surfactant. And again, it's kind of what we would associate with like a sudsy kind of feel or appearance in a product. So again, sodium lauryl sulfate, or I do like to emphasize SLSs, because there are a lot of derivatives which can make it kind of confusing. But definitely always check for those. Make sure you avoid them. There's so many other ingredients. Another just simple rule to follow is avoid anything that ends with the letters ABEN, the abens, the paraben, preservatives. Those are just not good for anybody from a health standpoint. So again, sodium lauryl sulfate, or I do like to emphasize SLSs, because there are a lot of derivatives which can make it kind of confusing. But definitely always check for those. Make sure you avoid them. There's so many other ingredients. Another just simple rule to follow is avoid anything that ends with the letters ABEN, the abens, the paraben, preservatives. Those are just not good for anybody from a health standpoint. I think that's pretty good as far as covering the topic of cleansers. I always say cleanser is not rocket science. And most people, thankfully, that I come across are using cleanser. It's very unusual that I meet somebody who's just never washing their face. I mean, I have, but it's not the norm. And so it's a very simple step. Everybody can do it. You just have to do it the right number of times a day and make sure that you're using something that's not going to be causing harm. I know you're wondering if I have any specific cleansers that I would recommend over maybe something else. And I do have my preferences, of course. But these initial videos, I'm wanting to focus a little bit more on just laying a good foundation of information for people to build off of. And so I'm not going to be getting into specifics as far as brands and products go quite yet.